Hello folks, good morning. How are you guys doing today? We had CPI, right? And our mentor was streaming, plus he called to move lives. So that was a good stream. I was watching it with you all, with my mentor, and it was pretty cool, right? He called exact same levels and price just went there. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, thank you. So I'm looking at Dow as always, right? It's my favorite pair. So Dow on daily chart, you guys can see we have an inversion on the daily chart. This fair value gap CB, it turned into an inversion after it got failed. Price closed against the body above this fair value gap, and then price retested it again and again today at CPI. Then we have a volume imbalance right here. I'm watching it if price is getting support from it, or if price wanna use this volume imbalance to continue its trend towards sell side liquidity. Before the CPI, okay, I think a London session price hit this CB, and after that it was just continuing towards sell side liquidity. We have this inversion. As long as we are below this inversion from the daily chart, if I measure this inversion, the midpoint will come here. So price with precision hit it and then went lower. So I'll be watching it. As long as price is below it, I'm bearish. Okay, folks? Just as our mentor told us today, like he's still bearish and he will look for like something towards sell side liquidity. So he didn't meant a signal. I'm also analyzing my chart. I'm not just using what he told us like blindly. So we'll see what happens inside 920 to 940. You guys know that that's the macro that I use. Plus today mentor talked about it, 920 to 945. That's the period when you will be watching chart with his son, right? So yeah, we know this time period long before he was just mentioning it today. Our A plus setup forms inside this macro. That's when the volatility comes in, the New York opens, and that's what we trade, the actual Judas, not the swing. If we expect to see our setup forming before 9:30, we execute before 9:30 and we take part in that Judas. So we basically predict like how price will open, where it will go at 9:30. That's what we do. We do not wait for price to open and then do a swing and then go for a trade. My A plus setup forms before 9:30 opening. So we have our CV here. We are below it. We are bearish, but we'll see. We have a big gap here. If you look at 4-hour chart, we have a higher high here, right? We have a candle here, then a candle right next to it lower, then this candle right next to it. So this is a swing high. So higher high, new higher high, this down close candle becomes our breaker. I'll be watching it, this whole two down close candles. As long as we are below it, as long as price is not closing a candle body above the mean threshold of these down close candles, I'm bearish, right? And it seems like price is trading below the mean threshold. Please explain more about order flow. I'm not gonna be talking about basic stuff, okay? You guys can watch it in our mentor's YouTube channel. You will find topics about order flow there, okay? Just the basic stuff. I'm not doing it here. So we have our breaker block here. I want to see how if price is tapping into this breaker block at 920 or around that time period before 9:30. Okay, if it does that, I'll be looking for a setup forming exactly here or anywhere near here. Okay, if price is still going towards buy side, then I'll take you guys on the hourly chart. We have something there. Before that, let me mark it so that I don't forget. Breaker from the 4-hour. we have this inversion right here. If price is still trading higher, okay, it's only when if price is still going higher than this breaker, the mean threshold that I talked about from the 4-hour chart, right, it comes exactly at this inversion. So if price still want to go up, mean threshold would be a good point to get resistance to our sell side, right? So I'll be watching it too. We have our breaker low from the hourly chart here, this black dotted line that you see. Why I'm calling it a breaker? Higher high, new higher high, last down close candle before the change in trend happened, right? Price was delivering towards sell side liquidity, market structure shift here. Where did the market structure shift happen? Here above this candle. Then price came down to the discount, went up, hit the CB from the 4-hour daily chart, right, from the daily chart, and then it just went lower. So let's see what price does if it's going to hit our 4-hour the breaker that I outlined from the 4-hour chart. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, I'll just keep it here. Breaker from the 4-hour chart right here. I'll be watching it here, and if I put the fib on, by the way, I'm not looking at the chat, so don't spam the chat. When I do look at the chat, I'll try to answer your questions. So this inversion is above at premium, right, at above discount. So yeah, this inversion attracts me more, but we'll see. Okay folks, if price is generating liquidity on lower time frame towards sell side, if there's enough strong sell side liquidity that price is generating now, then I'll consider taking a trade from this breaker. Otherwise, I'll just wait and see what price does, and if price is coming up here. Okay folks, remember, okay, I'm looking for high probability setup. I'm not just gonna push the button if I see any normal setup. Why high probability? Because that will put the odds in my favor. It's all gambling folks. I cannot guarantee you that this setup will be 100% profitable or any of the setup. Okay, we have to enter a setup by keeping in mind that it will be a loss. Okay, so that's how it works. So I'm gonna look for something that will put the odds in my favor more than in a normal setup. That's what I consider as a high probability. So if I don't see it, okay, don't expect anything from me today. If I see it, I'll be mentioning it. And before that, I'm just sharing my higher time frame idea with you all, right? So price hit the 4-hour breaker block. I'm just gonna go to the 15-minute chart, and we have this beefy down close candle towards sell side liquidity from CPI. Seems like price is gonna hit this inversion, right, from the 4-hourly chart. So remember these levels folks. If you don't remember, then look at the chart next to it. I'm just putting it here. Just gonna put the 4-hour chart here. Looking good. Okay, so this breaker is from 4-hour, outlined on 1-hour chart. We have inversion from the 1-hour chart. Inversion hourly, and we are watching this inversion, right? Why we are watching this inversion, I already talked about it. It is above the premium plus inside the breaker from the 4-hour chart. This is the breaker plus it's the mean threshold of this 4-hour breaker. So we'll see what price does here. Days, weeks, months. Okay, looking good. Let's go out to 3-minute chart. Okay, so we have unfilled fair value gap here alongside with these down close candles. We have a breaker here, right? So the price hit this breaker when folks, like before our macro started, right at 8, I think it was at 850 to 910 macro. That's the macro that I don't trade. If I'm trading, it's so basically on demo. I don't trust this macro. I lost more than win inside this macro. So yeah, we have lower low, right? New lower low, up close candle, working as breaker, price close the candle's body above, retested this breaker and moving towards buy side liquidity. Looking good. And then we have an unfilled fair value gap here, more like a breakaway gap. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking at 3-minute and 5-minute chart on Dow too, because these are the time frames that are important, folks. I'm trading on 1 minute, so 3-minute and 5-minute chart is more like a higher time frame to me. But I'm also keeping 15 hourly and 4-hour chart alongside, because that's the long-term bias, right? How did I know that price will be revisiting this inversion fair value gap if I didn't look at the higher time frame? So you will have to look at the higher time frame to know the long-term direction. You may not find your setup inside 920 to 940, but hey, if you are right in the direction, right, from the higher time frame, then yeah, you can get a setup. Like, there's a lot of macros, 950 to 1010, 1020 to 1040, 1050 to 1110. So there's a lot of times that you can look for a setup if you know the correct direction. So the last line of defense, look at the 1-hour chart right here, will be this inversion that is exactly at the OT level. If I put the fib on, I'm not gonna do that, I already know it. From this high to this low, OT will be at this inversion, so we will also be watching it. And look at that, price just hit this inversion, right? Just by a tick, I believe. Yes, just by 1 tick, but I still want to see a little bit more price action inside here. There's nothing that I see right now other than price hitting this inversion. I do not take trade just based on higher time frame PDRAs. I look for a setup forming on lower time frame inside a higher time frame PDRA. So even if price is hitting it and retracing lower, I'll not take this trade. Why? I believe in high probability. It's all gambling to me, okay? It's my high probability setups are just gonna put the odds in my favor. That's it, folks. If you cannot guarantee a setup will turn profitable 100%, it's gambling, right? There's still 20% chance, the 40% chance of losing. So I'll have to be careful. My win rate with breaker, it depends on the month to month, but on average I do like 60 to 80% of in the basis of win rate. So I'm still losing 20 to 40% of the times, right? So these 20 to 40% time of losing trade will come, but I don't know when it will come. It can come like in one trade, then I'm winning 3 or 4 trades, I'm losing 1 trade, or it can come in a row, right? Like suppose I'm losing 5 or 6 times, but does that mean my model is not working? No, it just means that I'm losing 20 or 40% of the time that I'm expecting. So when I'm doing that, when I'm losing, I'll have to be in control of my emotions, right? So if I don't follow the rules, if I don't follow that, I'll only be executing when I'm finding out a high probability setup, then it won't work, right? I'll blow up accounts. I did that before and I learned from it. So that's how you do it. So I don't see any relative equal lows down here. Price is just aggressively pushing higher. Price just hit this hourly inversion. Look at the hourly chart, folks. Higher time frame is what we are looking at. Yes, we are going to be trading, executing at lower time frame, but higher time frame is from where we get our narrative, right? Again, folks, if I share any trade idea, then if you are taking it with me, then it's on your own risk. I don't want to know if you are winning. I don't want to know if you are losing. It's based on you. I'm tape reading. I'll also be demo executing, or yeah, whatever that is. It's on you, okay? So we have an inversion right here. Sorry, a fair value gap. So if no breaker forming here, then I'll likely see price going below this inversion. So let's see what happens. And above us, we have relative equal highs that price generated at 8:30, before 8:30. Look at these highs, pretty clean, right? So yeah, if I'm not finding a Yeah, plus setup I'll not execute. I'll, because of these relative equal highs above here. This 3-minute breaker is too clean. Look at this breaker. I wish it was inside like 920 to 940, but it showed up earlier. Okay, let's answer some questions from chat. NQ, what's happening on NQ? I'm not looking at NQ. Let's see. NQ, the same thing, but seems like a little bit more clear price action on NQ, right? But the narrative is same, folks. What I'm talking here about Dow, the same thing will apply on NQ. NQ is still reaching for the premium array, where on Dow price already hit our premium PT array, right? This retracement was aggressive after the delivery of CPI. This inversion is from on hourly chart is coming at premium, and above us we have this inversion that I mentioned, right? So this inversion from the hourly chart, I'm just gonna mark it, is a OT level, optimal trade entry. Put your fib there the way ICT teaches us, and you will see that the OT is there. I'm just gonna do it for the sake of precision. Let's see. Yes, look at that, 0.62, 0.7. I don't know if you guys can look it, but here's the OT level from the hourly chart, and price just hit it. Look at that, the precision. How did I got the precision, folks? From candles body to body, okay, not the wick. That's the part of the candle that does the manipulation. We are not considering that. We are looking at the body. Price hit the 0.62 level, the OT level from the hourly chart, just by 2 ticks. I think 1 tick, yeah. So the narrative stays same towards sell side liquidity. Let's see if price is closing a candle's body below this inversion. If so, I would like to see price retesting it, and if it does that, we will have a trade idea that we can execute on. If you guys are also looking at Dow, look at 3-minute chart. Okay, there's a fair value gap right here. So yeah, let's see what price does, folks. Did you consider using color codes for different time frames? Example, weekly purple, daily red, 4-hour yellow, 1-hour blue, and then you always know the time frame of a specific line. I never did tried that though, Monica. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it looks. I'll do that after the 9:30 delivery. NFP, not CPI. Yeah, okay, sorry, I was saying NFP. What the hell? Did I also put CPI in my thumbnail? Let me check. No, I did put CPI. Then why I was saying NFP? Hey, mistake happens. Jason, nice to see you live streaming again. Have learned a lot from your streams. Thank you, Jason. I'll be staying here, bro. How many trades on average that you took a week with your strategy? If I'm only taking 1 trade and that's hitting my TP, I'm profitable. Okay, I'm making way more than I was making at my weekly job. Okay, if 1 trade hits my TP, then I'm gonna be making like 2 weeks of my work plus overtime that I used to do at a factory. So yeah, I'm happy if I'm getting 1 trade. If not, on average I take like 2 to 3 trades in a week. So it's always comes to the capital, folks. Okay, if you don't have enough capital, enough patience. In 2021, I was trading with $50, like $50 risk per trade, not $50 account. Then it got increased like gradually. I made a post about that on my Twitter. So you'll have to be patient when you are trading, okay? it's not on like how many setups you are finding, but it's on the, like how you are managing your emotions. 1 trade per week, 2 trades, 3 trades, I think it's good, right? So we have a fair value gap here. Price didn't close the candles body below this inversion. I wanted to look at that. Seems like price is not presenting me any setup, right? I wanted to see a breaker, but hey, we'll see if price does that before, after, or Judas. Price just hit this fair value gap, this CB. I'll not be taking trades from this CB because it's not an inversion, it's not a turtle soup, it's not a breaker, none of my model. I don't just execute from a fair value gap. So I'll keep waiting, and if price comes back up and goes above this swing high, then I'll look for a setup. But until then, let's just wait. So our premium, I believe this is the level. This is the breaker from the 4-hour chart. Let's see if price goes below here. Yes, overall I was correct in calling the direction. Okay, the delivery of 930, right? It was towards sell side liquidity, but hey, the setup is not here, so we'll not be pushing button, rather wait. I'll rather wait. What's your bias for today? I already talked about it, Charan. Hey guys, don't forget to give the stream a like. Yes, hit the thumbs up button if you are enjoying my commentaries first thing when I join. Thank you, Monica. Smash like only 5 but watching 185. Okay, I didn't look at the likes, folks, but hey, why is it so low? Run it up, folks. 34. Can we reach to like 100 200 people watching? Yeah, we can do that, right? Good evening from India. Good evening. Good morning from Canada. I'm back. I didn't know you were watching me, Apple Junior. So that's a nice retest of this inversion. Right at this candle, price went up. I will not be taking this trade, but hey, I wanna see price going lower. Okay, this fair value gap will be my target. Then this swing low. I'm just gonna watch it, and that's what tape reading means. If I don't see my high probability setup, I'll not be executing, rather I'll just tape read. Okay, so let's watch it. Price hit this inversion again, so another chance of entry. And target, I told you guys, this fair value gap, then ultimately this low right here. But my A plus high probability setup will be something like this. Let me put it into perspective. Something like this. Okay, price doing a stop hunt here, then going below this fair value gap, using it as an inversion, retesting here. My entry will be right here. So that's what I wanna see, but we'll wait. Do you have a 9 to 5 job? Not anymore. I used to have. Have you also trade high impact news before and lose? What happened after? I think only 1 or 2 times I did traded it. I never got lucky, but I was trading with demo though at CPI. I never found any interest to push button at CPI, at NFP, or any high impact news. Not any, like PPI, PMI. I like to trade that, but CPI, NFP, I basically avoid that. Okay, I basically avoid that because you never know, folks. Like, price can go up and then go down, go up. It delivers both sides. You never know what's gonna happen. It's too aggressive, so I risk when the odds in my favor is like only 10% and the risk is like 90%. So there's 90% probability that I will lose. Only 10%. Only luck is there. Okay. Here I am doing analysis. I can put the odds in my favor with that, but before CPI, NFP, nothing works. So basically I avoid that. What is the percentage of risk at your capital per trade? A plus setup 1%, normal setups 0.5%. So 0.5% is like $500 my account. 1% is, you know, right, what it is. Thanks for all your Twitter posts and everything you were sharing, but you were welcome. NQ doing a different thing. NQ, yeah, I told you guys, NQ is yet to reach. Okay, before 9:30 delivery, I told you guys that NQ yet to reach the premium, right? So that's the reason. But Dow, look at my callings on Dow, folks. Like, I was talking about this inversion when price didn't even reach here, right? That's how you decide bias. You all talk and fight about bias. Look how I am deciding my bias. Isn't it easy? I'm marking up the levels using fib, basic knowledge, like, okay, if price reaches here, that's the premium, that's above discount, this inversion, then there's also OTE. Simple stuff. What prop farms you are in? Is it a question? Really? Look at that. What I'm advertising here. Funded next, right? Your 3 days workshop mainly focused on stock, crypto only. I think mentioned that you trade mainly YM, so please clarify. Yes, I'll be talking about Dow macros, Dow setups, then yeah, stock. I'll cover 3 stock: ES, Dow, and Nasdaq. Then there's also crypto, then there's also forex. On forex specifically, I will be talking about the Asian session. I shared the macro on forex for the Asian session. Okay, so I also shared the crypto macros. I'll also be sharing more crypto macros inside my 3 days bootcamp, plus London session forex macros, which no one talks about. So yeah, if you are a forex trader or you do trade forex, then I think you will find it pretty helpful. For the price of $80, is pretty good. So mitigation block is coming here, our mitigation block, and price just retested this mitigation block. Something that I know price does, but I don't feel comfortable taking it as a setup, right? So I told you guys that when price was retesting this inversion, I would like to see price going lower from here, right? So I would have put my stop loss above this candle's body, and as you can see, price stopped here at this fair value gap and went lower, right? Not really what I wanted to see. I wanted to see price coming up, going above this swing high, and then going lower. But anyway, your 3 day, okay, yeah, I answered it. Why do you prefer Dow over NQ, and how do you choose which of the 3 to trade? Dow, I've been trading on Dow since the very beginning. That's the reason I feel comfortable here, nothing more. Okay, NQ. Okay, let's look at Nasdaq. We have a SMT here with Nasdaq. I was talking a little bit more than I usually do. Okay, this is the thing that I wanted to see on Dow. Okay, you guys know that what I was talking on Dow, right? I wanted to see price going up, then clearing this clearing buy side liquidity from here, then going below this fair value gap, using it as an inversion, right, to get resistance towards sell side liquidity. I would have entered here. Look at what Nasdaq is doing, the same thing that I told you guys, but anyway, I missed it. Higher high, new higher high. Here's the inversion fair value gap, right? It turned into an inversion. Price retested it, just as I mentioned in Dow, and here I would have taken an entry. We have our breaker block right here with some trend line liquidities right here. So yeah, we have 950 to 1010 macro. We'll watch that, and I'll be also watching Dow. Dow is just retesting the breaker that formed at 840, 839. So this is our sell side. What the hell? Sell side liquidity, which is a strong sell side liquidity. So there's a lot of breaker block setup, okay folks. There's a lot more to know about inversion. You guys know that some of you think, okay, there's nothing more to know about breaker, like if price is forming a fair value gap right next to a breaker, that's the plus setup. There's more to it. Okay, there's more left to know. So if you guys are interested in that, right? Just as I mentioned when I was talking about Dow, right, about this inversion, that's a plus setup. Did you know about it? How a breaker forms like this? You didn't, right? So yeah, if you are interested in that, I'll be talking a lot more about breaker, inversion, and turtle soup inside my 3-day bootcamp. And this is the one. I'm doing it only for one time, folks. After that, if you guys are talking about like why to talk a little bit about your model, about inversion, about turtle soup, I'll not be doing that. So it's only one time, and that's it. Our breaker is here, alongside price generated a fair value gap right here. We have an implied fair value gap right here. So let's see any retracement towards buy side liquidity. Okay, any retracement towards premium. I'll think about a setup if I see that. But overall I was right in calling the market, right? So if you guys are enjoying it with precision, folks, who does that? People will come do live stream, either they will be already in a trade or they will be like doing it in hindsight. I'm sitting here with you and reading price just as our mentor does, live, commenting live, calling one direction. If you are enjoying it, hit the thumbs up, okay? That will inspire me. It won't cost you any money, right? It's better than your $1,000 course seller mentor. Don't do live stream, remember that. Why? They can't do it live. So we have our breaker here alongside with this fair value gap. Let's see if price hits this fair value gap inside 950 to 1010. If it does that, you know what I will do. We have a implied fair value gap here alongside with this inversion. So this is gonna be my last line of defense in terms of, okay, if price is retesting it now, I'll not take the entry. It's not inside the macro that I'm comfortable with, 950 to 1010. Okay folks, so I'll just be watching it. I'm very patient about when it comes to my setup, choosing what I will trade. Okay, so price hit this fair value gap. I wish it was inside 950 to 1010, but hey, it's doing it only. We have an implied fair value gap here, we have an inversion here. So let's see what it does, folks. Let's see what it does. Our mean threshold is coming right here below this inversion. So yeah, I'm watching this inversion basically. If you are trading on Nasdaq, if you are comfortable to lose some money, then consider taking an entry here, putting your stop loss above this candle here, okay, or above this inversion. Why? Because that's where the market structure shift happened, the hidden market structure shift. Okay, I'm also watching Dow here in this chart. So nothing that I will consider to take as an entry. So I'm watching this inversion. Let's see what price does here. Inversion. Do you guys see the logic? Am I just marking a random level and like just watching it? No, I'm marking specific levels with logic. So inversion, you do your own part, okay? I'm not gonna be talking about like taking entries if I don't see it, but hey, you know when you can risk some money. So I mentioned about this earlier, right? About this implied fair value gap plus this inversion. So tape read it if you are not comfortable losing a little bit of money. I'll tape read it. So how will be the perspective if I put it into perspective, right? Stop loss above here, targeting this low. That would be like 3 to 3R. Not bad in terms of making money, right? So yeah, I already told you guys what I'm expecting to see. If price is consolidating here and price is getting inside 950 to 1010, I'll take it as an entry, otherwise not. Thanks, learning a lot. Thank you, Sophian. Rafael, do you suggest a risky management in your workshop? Risk management, yeah, I'll be talking about that. How to manage stop loss with breaker, how to manage stop loss with inversion, how to manage stop loss with turtle soup. And it's not gonna be only one model, one example. Every type of breaker, okay, that is possible to form, every type of breaker that you should be avoiding, every type of A plus breaker setup, every type of normal breaker setup, every type of A plus inversion setup, how it forms, what to expect before it forms, okay, like here, what I was expecting to see before price hit this inversion from the hourly chart on Dow. Okay, I was putting fib, I was measuring it, right? So these are some kind of logics that no one talks about, and if they are talking, that it's gonna be in hindsight. But hey, I'm coming here doing it live, right? So do you guys see that why I'm not comfortable taking trades outside my macro levels? Because of this, okay, because of the experience that I got. So yeah, patience, folks, patience never fails to pay. Always remember, I learned that from my experience. Now some of you will be like, okay, he's calling the market here and he's failing. No, I'm talking to you, I'm outlining a low probability setup, and then I'm telling you, okay, if price did that inside a macro, then I would have felt comfortable taking it, right? It was inside macro, then I would have felt comfortable taking it, but it was outside, right? So I didn't take it. That if the setup is forming outside macro, to me that's a low probability setup. So do we have a SMT here? Seems like we have. No, we don't have a SMT with these lows. So price just went above these levels that I marked, and this high here. Let's see what Dow is doing on 1 minute. Coming back up, retesting our breaker from the 4-hour chart, right? This red line, I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, what is this red dotted line that you see? It's our 4-hour breaker. Okay, no hindsight here. 4-hour breaker, price came back up, hit it, but I'll still wait for price to get inside 950 to 1010. If not, if price is not providing me a setup, I do see another setup here, another setup, this breaker here. Okay, do you guys see this breaker? Do you guys see it? It's there. It's here, it's here, it's here. Okay, 950 to 1010. We have this inversion. I want to see price going below here. If price is not going below, then I'll not take a trade. But here I do see a inversion. Sorry, a breaker. Higher high, new higher high that formed inside this stealing range. Okay, so the trend, price is still respecting the trend. So 950 to 1010 macro, folks, is more like a trend continuation macro, not a reversal macro. So that's the reason I'll not be willing to take a trade from this order block. I'll be waiting to take a trade where price continues a trend. So there's a lot more to know about macros. For there are macros like trend continuation macro, there are macros for like market reversal macro. Do you know at what time price will change it delivery? You don't, right? So if you're interested, go in my Telegram or in my Twitter account, and in my 3-day workshop I'll be talking a lot more about this. So something looking like this, and we are inside our macro, right? We are inside our macro. I want to see price going below this breaker and below this hourly breaker right here. This dotted line that you see, black dotted line, that's coming at 31,145 is our hourly breaker. So if price is going below it, I'd like to see price using it as a support. We have a breaker here on lower time frame, so we'll see we have trend line liquidity resting here. If you put a trend line here, it will work like a charm. So most probably a one contract that I'll take here. I'm willing to lose that money, okay, folks? I'm willing to lose that money. It won't affect me if I'm losing it. So yeah, Hydra. There's someone else by the name of me. Are you scamming people? Are you scamming people, Hydra? If not, then good. Yeah, at the next candle, I would like to see price hitting this breaker and then going lower. Okay, I'm waiting for execution. Okay. Oh my god, I'm using a live account, so it's okay. I thought it said demo, but hey, it's okay. It doesn't matter if it's a demo or live account, right, folks? What matters is like if I'm able to call the market right or not. So I want to see price retesting here, these specific two levels. This dotted line is our 4-hour breaker, remember? Sorry, hourly breaker, not 4-hour. 9:50, we are inside the time period. Hydra is still waiting. Don't mind me saying it, okay? But people do scam by using my name. They'll be like selling my own stuff for money that I share for free on Twitter. But I don't give a fuck. If you're so dumb enough to fall for a scam, if you can't know that if it's a real account or a fake fucking account, then it's on you, right? So there it is. I'm willing to risk like until price goes up here, this money. So the TP is here. Let's see what price does, folks. This is the only trade that I'll take today. If it's not printing out, that's it for me, and I don't care. Trading community. Why is your name so long, bro? The teach me to fish FX trading community. Really? What is the time frame of the bottom right chart? It's 15 minute. It's 15 minute. Seems like we are going higher, right? So if it's going above, then I'll be closing this trade. Mean threshold is broken. Mean threshold broken, but I'm still holding. Our stop loss is at the safe place. Let's see what price does here, folks. Let's see what price does. Only risk the money that you are willing to lose, okay? Only risk that much, so it won't hurt you when you are losing. But if you're losing more than your emotion can handle, then don't trade, okay? It's that easy. So far looking pretty good, right? So I'll put my stop loss above this candle here. If price is going above this candle, then that's it for me. Price generated relative equal lows. I believe it will continue delivering towards sell side. Me personally, I don't like this price action. Look at the retracements that are happening. I like to see like price delivering aggressively once it hits the breaker or closes a candle's body below the breaker, not doing something like this. But hey, I'm already in this trade. I was supposed to be taking it on demo, but hey, let's see what happens. Good morning, Phoenix. Long time no see. How are you doing, bro? So this retracement, folks, trust me, I don't like it. But we have our inversion here, right? As long as price is below it, my stop loss is below the mean threshold of this inversion. So if price is going above, I'm not willing to hold. Okay. Price is hitting the hourly breaker again. Let's see if it continues to our sell side. This is the price action, folks, that I avoid. Okay. This is the same price action that I avoid. What I want to see is, as soon as this fair value gap got created, then price hit it, aggressive move towards sell side. But what happened here? Price went up, went lower, then coming up again, right? We'll see what happens. 955. Relative equal lows down here, so this swing low is what I want to see price going below here. Relative equal lows down here, folks, right? So that gave me confidence to hold it. Otherwise I would have closed once price retraced towards buy side liquidity. Volume imbalance here. Let's see how price trades here. This volume imbalance, my stop loss right now will be above this candle. Okay, I'm minimizing risk here. Look how I'm managing my risk, my stop loss, how I'm doing it. That's how you learn. I'm doing it for free. Oh my god, again question about days. Days quarterly theory. I don't trade it, but hey, if it's working for you, then make it work. Use it, right? Use it. That's what I want to see. I want to say I'm not using that. This retracement, I don't like it. We have a volume imbalance here. Let's see how price trades in this volume imbalance. I'll be putting my stop loss here. Right now I don't want to see price going above this volume imbalance or above these up close above these up close candles. Newbie question, folks. Don't ask me that. Is it a breaker that ICT teaches? Look at this price action. Oh my god. So price got support from this rejection block again, this swing low, which turned into a rejection block. Now let's see if this volume imbalance holds. If not, if price is going above, I'm closing it. I don't want to see price getting support from this volume imbalance. That's what I'm talking. Seems like it is getting support from this volume imbalance, right? Price hit our hourly breaker again. So let's see what happens. Pushing higher. Price generated equal highs here. So not something that I want to see price is doing. Yes, a little bit more. Let's see, price cleared out this equal high. So let's see if it continues towards sell side. If it's going a little bit higher, if it's getting support from here, I'll be closing it. Yes, I'm not willing to hold anymore. I would have taken a partial here, but it was only one contract, right? It would have been a 1-to-1 trade, right? But hey, I'm not willing to hold in this price action, folks. I don't like this price action. I told you guys what I like to see is price hitting this breaker, then going lower, not doing something like this. Guys, we are still bearish. The trend is still bearish. I'm not willing to hold. That's the thing. We generated a fair value gap here. Me personally, that's how I trade. That's how I manage my stop loss. If price is coming up and hitting my stop loss, I'm not willing to hold. Time distortion. Time distortion for what? There's no high impact news anymore. We have another breaker here, lower low, new lower low right here, breaker, fair value gap alongside with this breaker. So yeah, I will not hold a trade like this. So my closing was perfect, I believe. Look at this price action, folks. That's what I don't trade. Look at NQ, it's just consolidating, right? Inside this dealing range, just consolidating. Generated equal highs, so price is still retesting this breaker from the hourly chart. Yeah, I just checked NQ, it's just chopping around. Range today before big move, after big move. If price closes this candle below this inversion, then know that it will continue its trend towards sell side liquidity. If you are already in this trade, then hold it. I would say hold it. Do you guys see that why I closed? Because of this, because of the choppiness the price is doing here. Let me hide some drawings. It's looking too choppy. Visible hours, days. Why is it not okay? Respecting what I wanna do. Visibility hours, okay, looking good. Hours, yeah. Hours. Not really seek and destroy, just chopping. I'm correct in the direction that I called, but I was not willing to hold, right? And Q, the sell side liquidity that I shared with you all, it still remains as a target. On NQ, let's look at NQ. Yeah, this is what I told you guys, that I would consider it as a target. We have a SMT here with Dow at this candle. There's your SMT. Would you trade here in this price action? I owned, okay? Because this price action is generating emotion more than it's generating confidence inside me. So why would I hold? Price is retesting this volume imbalance. I want to see it remaining low below this volume imbalance. Let's mark it for the newbies. I'm talking about this volume imbalance. Okay, so Mentor also tweeted at 9:29. He was like, buckle up, likely fast opening range, where we saw a choppy opening range, right? So in that regard, Mentor was wrong. I was also expecting to see though like a aggressive delivery towards sell side, but hey, it became choppy here. But overall, look at the direction, look at how I called the market, what logics I used, okay, from the higher time frame, right, to the lower time frame. The logic, do you guys see it? Do you guys see how I was able to call the market in front of you using higher time frame narrative? That's how you do it. All this move right here, it was called by HYDRA live. Go back and listen to it. Go back, right? If you are not trusting what I'm saying here, you'll hear me saying when price was here, I want to see price going lower from this hourly inversion, right? I also shared the logic why price should go below from this hourly inversion. It was above premium. It was near to the OT level, right? There was breaker on the hourly chart. There was breaker on the 4-hour chart. Focus on the logic, not what trade I'm taking, using me as a signal. If you are doing this, folks, trust me, it won't be useful for you watching my live streams, okay? So if you are enjoying it so far, hit the thumbs up button. I see that we are yet to reach 100. So let's make it, folks. Let's go to 100. This breaker, okay, I called it before price even activated it, right? I told you guys that if price is going below this inversion, that's the market structure shift. That's a change in the direction. This fair value gap, I told you guys I'll take an entry here if it's inside the macro. It was inside the macro. I took an entry, but it became choppy. My TP was here, right, folks? So if you were still holding this trade, you made some profits here today. But I don't want to know about it. Price generated relative equal lows. I still want to see it going lower, possibly going below this swing low right here. Yeah, inversion is very powerful. I'll talk more about this inversion, how it forms, how you should be predicting a change of delivery in price using inversion in my 3-day workshop, 3-day bootcamp, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'll only be doing this one time. So if you are interested to know more about this inversion breaker, then hey, 20 October is coming fast. Book your place. I'm gonna be closing it once we reach 150 members, and only I believe only 10 to 20 spots left. So yeah, book your place. It's not gonna be happening again. Logic was perfect, and to stop loss was perfect. There is no reason to hold a deeper stop loss there unless you were just gambling on this bearish. Yes, I analyze chart with logic, with high probability that will put odds in my favor. So wasn't it called beforehand, folks? Wasn't it? Losses, it happens, but I was right in the calling the market in overall direction. So to me, I'll get more macros. Okay, there will be same setup repeating tomorrow, the day after that, next week, the week after that. So why should I hold this trade when I know that I can do the same thing again next week, the day after that? My skill is not going anywhere. My skill, my experience will serve me always until the algorithm changes, right? So why should I hold here if my experience is telling me to close? Look at Nasdaq. That's why I prefer to trade Dow. I find it cleaner compared to Nasdaq more times. Nasdaq is just chopping around. Look at Nasdaq. Okay, I'll show it to you all. How it's chopping around, right? Inside this ceiling range from this high to this low. Are you willing to take a trade here? Or are you willing to take or tape read Dow? Dow is way cleaner, folks. Trust me, it delivers liquidity way better than ES, way better than Nasdaq. But not always. Most of the time, I would say that. Most of the time, not always. So when I call this move, my trade idea was something like this. Entry was here with a stop loss above the breaker, right? So if I was holding with my original stop loss, it would have hit my TP right now. Or if I was targeting this 3R, then it would have been like 3 to 4 hours. So yeah. But look at that, folks. That's the price action that I avoid. It's generating emotion, okay? It's so close to take this liquidity from here, but it's not gonna do that. Why? Because it's in a high resistance liquidity run. Okay, there are two types of liquidity run that happens: high resistance, low resistance. If you don't know about it, I'll be talking about more about this to the point inside my 3-day bootcamp. So I look for low resistance liquidity run when price will just hit a breaker and then it will just hit my TP in 2-3 minutes, in just like 2-3 candles or 4-5 candles max. So that's what I expect to see. How many candles it took to reach here? A lot, right? More than 4 or 5 candles, right? I'm not doing candle counting. Candle counting is a fucking scam. If you can't do what you are like preaching live, then you are basically a hindsight trader. And what I'm doing here, what I preach, I've always been preaching about macros. If you guys follow me long term from Twitter, you know that I only preach about macros, time and price. That's what I do. $10.12, 10.20 to 10.40, that's a macro, what I consider as a market reversal macro. Do you know what a market reversal macro means? How did the course go? The course is yet to start. It's not a course, it's a 3-day workshop where I'll be sharing 3 models. I think you can see it in my screen. Breaker, inversion, and turtle soup. 3-day, 3 models, everything that I know about these models, everything how a model forms, everything about how you should be expecting price to behave before a model forms. In stock, Dow, US30, US100, US500. Then on crypto, at what times you should be predicting a setup forming, because that's what we are doing here, right? Predicting what price will do afterwards. Then also Forex, don't miss that, right? Forex macros, at what time you should be looking for high probability setup inside Forex. So that's a lot for $80. I believe it will worth it. So yeah, look at that, folks. That's the reason I closed it. I'm telling you guys again and again. Suppose if I was holding, I would be emotional here, right? If I was holding for this low, I'll be like, wow, why price is doing that? Why I didn't close here? Why I took this trade? So these are the questions that I avoid, okay? Price came up, retested this breaker again. We have a breaker here, another breaker inside this breaker, inside higher time frame breakers. So it's all about breakers, folks. Isn't it easy to spot a breaker than other ICT setups? Isn't it more high probability Yes, and don't you want to know about it? So book your place in my 3D workshop. So let's talk about another breaker that from here. Breaker block here, right? Higher high, new higher high. I'll be marking it for the newbies. Higher high, new higher high, last down close candle working as a breaker. Inversion, when price closing candle's body below it, we know that market structure shift happened. Higher high here again. New higher high, so these down close candles becomes our breaker. Price came up, retesting this breaker again. I want to see price going lower, okay, from here, from this level, this exact level right here. I want to see it going lower, clearing this sell side liquidity here. That's what a breaker should be doing. And we are getting inside our next macro, 1020 to 1040. So let's see what happens. What are you doing? I'm tape reading. So this is the breaker that I'm talking about inside our breaker, inside our this breaker. So this is another breaker block alongside with this breaker. So that's all I see in chart, folks. Okay, isn't it easy to spot? So imagine you are mastering it. Imagine you are mastering your emotion with it. How will you perform after you are looking at charts like me? I personally not willing to hold these trades, but hey, you can do it, right? If you are confident enough, if your emotions are suggesting you, then you can do it. I'm not holding this trade. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If you are willing to risk what you are putting here, then you can. We are getting inside our next macro, 1020 to 1040. If price is clearing this level out before our macro starts, 1020 to 1040, then I would like to see a reversal from right here, from exactly right at this level. Below it we have an inversion from the daily chart. Go back when I started the stream. That's the time when I showed you the inversion from the daily chart. That's the level from where price is getting support towards buy side liquidity. So there it is right here. So we are also getting inside of our market reversal macro, 1020 to 1040. So we'll see what happens. Monji, hey Hydra, great live stream. How come you don't use ES or US500? I do look at ES, US500, US100, but I only trade on Dow and Nasdaq. I completely avoid ES. I only look at ES for the sake of SMT. And if you're asking me why ICT trades ES, then why are you not trading ES? Because I'm not comfortable with the price action on ES. I understand better how Dow delivers, how Nasdaq delivers. So it's more like coming into how I feel comfortable trading and what charts. It's not like ICT doing that, so I'll have to do that. No. To me, ICT teaches us freedom. Okay, what it teaches us works on every market. You just have to find out like what market works for you, and this is what working for me. The golden boy, this stream will be recorded, and there's a lot of gems. Okay, I called market live from the inversion, so if you missed it, just rewatch it. I hope you will enjoy it. You will learn something, how I was able to call the market from the higher time frame to the lower time frame, how I was able to outline a trade, how I closed the trade, why I closed it. So all that stuff. Okay, you don't want to miss this good stuff. So do you guys see how price retested this hourly breaker again and again? this black line. I'll mark it, I'll make it a little bit more visible. I'll mark it red and put it 2 times. Look at this red line on the hourly chart. It's a breaker. I talked about it in the beginning of my stream. Pablo G, please, this is not a hate message. It's just that it seems to me that the concept of managing risk is not clear in your strategy. The concept of managing risk to me, I believe, is clear. I explained how what I was expecting, a low resistance liquidity run. I wasn't expecting to see price returning back to this breaker block again. Okay. My best trades, folks, if you guys look at the execution recording that I share on my Twitter, I think you were not here long, Pablo, or you are not following me on my Twitter. The executions that I share, every breaker block setup price, it will deliver aggressively. Okay, it's not, once price closes a candle body below a breaker, price should not do something like this, like getting into high resistance liquidity run. If I see that, I'll not hold that trade. So I will show you some executions, like how I expect to see price behaving, something like this. Look at this breaker, 920 to 930. That's the macro that I trade, right? Higher low, sorry, lower low, new lower low inside a higher time frame PDA. These up close candles are working as a breaker here, fair value gap. That's where I enter. Look at the delivery here. What is it? Is it doing a lot more retracement inside this breaker? No, price is respecting this breaker. And compare this price action to this one here. Price just cleared out the sell side liquidity here. So I was right again, calling where price will go. I'll show you another example. Okay, there's many examples. It's not just I'm doing it for 1 month and then I found my experience. My experience is not based on 1 month, based on years. Look at this one, this breaker at 10.50 to 11.10 on Nasdaq. How price was delivering here? It was respecting this inversion. It was respecting this breaker. A breaker formed inside a higher time frame here, hourly CB. It was here. Then another one. Look at that. Every single time price closes a candle body below a breaker, below an inversion, I expect to see price delivering with low resistance liquidity run. Okay, so if I don't see that, I'll not take it as a trade. Take this trade as an example. It was inside 11.20 to 11.30 macro. Lower low, stop hunt here, higher high. Sorry, lower low, new lower low. These up close candles becomes our breaker. We have a fair value gap here. Price came down, hit the breaker. Then look at the delivery here. Aggressive, right? Low resistance liquidity run. Now compare this delivery with this. So what did I talk about it? 1020 to 1040, I consider it as a market reversal macro. Didn't I told you guys that I want to see market reversing from this level? There's many more examples, Pablo. What you were talking, you won't be able to show me what your model does live. So yeah, don't talk about my trade management, what I do. So look at this breaker. Higher high, new higher high. This last down close candles becomes our breaker. Price closing candles body below the breaker. Price retesting this breaker. We have a fair value gap here. Stop loss above the mean threshold of this breaker. Look at the delivery here. Now compare this delivery with this here. Isn't it choppy? So why should I hold? Does it make sense now of why I closed it? Look at this one, 420 to 440. It's a London session macro that I was willing to share in my 3-day bootcamp. But anyway, there was an hourly breaker. So this breaker formed inside a lower, higher time frame PDA on lower time frame. Higher high, new higher high. Last down close candle working as a breaker. Price closed the candle body below the breaker. Retested the breaker. Look at the delivery afterwards. Isn't it low resistance liquidity run? Now compare this delivery with this. Oh my god, what happened? Now do you understand why I didn't hold? And you are coming here talking to me managing my stop loss. Look at this breaker here. Many more examples. These are just screenshots, okay? I can share live trade recordings. If you are willing to see that, go on my Twitter account. You will find it there. So why would I hold? Rather I will tape read. Didn't I call these levels live in front of you? Didn't I told you that price will reverse from here? So you don't need to know from me to where you should be taking an entry. If this price action is supporting your trade idea, what I'm calling, then take it, right? I'm not gonna be doing a signal service here. So look at that, this level, this exact price level, I called it, right? Market will reverse from here. Didn't you guys hear me why I call this level? There was logic behind it. What logic? Daily inversion. Look, go into the daily chart and look where price hit now. So higher time frame levels works like this, folks. So from here to here, that's a turtle soup. Which indicator do you use for macro? Do you see any indicator here? I don't use any indicator. Indicator is for retail fucking traders. So yeah, I don't use it. Some people come here to get blocked. So our breaker, another breaker is here, right? We have another breaker. Lower low, new lower low. So this up close candle working as a breaker. We are inside another macro that I call as market reversal macro. Look at the delivery from this breaker here. So if I was taking this trade out, target this swing high right here. But hey, I told you guys that that's the only trade that I'll take. The trade that I took here, right? I took it. I'm done for today. I'm basically done. So that's gonna be it for today, folks. I'll be closing it here, and I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary here, right? The folks that come here to learn, learn how I do it, how they should be deciding their bias, right? These levels were called, folks. This inversion, then how price should be behaving here, then from this breaker until delivering here. Even the reversal that happened here, everything was called live. But hey, if you are coming here for signal, then yeah, you won't find it useful. But you are coming here to learn how I decide my bias, how you should be deciding your bias, then I think it is pretty useful, right? I'll catch you guys probably on Sunday with a I'll do a back testing session this weekend. I'm thinking about it, so if I get enough time, I'll do it, and I hope to see you guys there. Okay, I'll share the link in my Telegram. So if you're not in my Telegram, then you can join in my Telegram. You'll find the link in the description box or in the about section in my YouTube. If you are with me on Twitter, you'll find it there. And I hope to see you guys this weekend, plus in my bootcamp, where I'll be talking about these setups, how I decide my bias, and all that stuff, all that good stuff. So I also hope to see you there. Till then, take care, be safe, look for your own setup, don't use anyone for signal, And hey, you were supposed to be disciplined enough, right? Look at me, how I manage my discipline, how I manage my stop loss, how I call a market, what levels I look for. These are the things that you should be looking in my live streams. I'm not here to do signals, guys, okay? I'm here to provide value for the community. That's what I'm doing. And take care. Peace.